Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk. I'll be hosting this show this evening. I'm here with my regular guest, Bathtime. How are you, Bathtime? How you doing, mate?
Am I a guest?
Nah, you're a regular fixture. I shouldn't have said guest. You're more...
I'm your co-host, Tyrone. Honestly, I can't believe this. This is like being someone's wife and getting introduced as their girlfriend. Utterly ridiculous.
Nah, I'm only winding.
Yeah, I'm all right. I know. Yeah, I'm all right. I obviously went to New York like you did last week, and it's always like back today, and it's always like it's good to come back at Christmas because it's not quite as depressing, but it's long. It's a long flight, man.
How did you find it this time? What did you get up to?
Okay, do you want me to go straight into the practical joke they did to me?
You could do, or you could just tell me.
So I told Tyrone about this. So I've been going to New York like this time every year since COVID. So I think this is our fifth time or sixth time. And I had two mates from university. One is from Colombia and one is from Panama. And they work in the city there. And we always sort of like hang out with them and go and play football and stuff. And so I went to go and play in this kind of like sports hall thing in Brooklyn. Okay. And right. So like get there and they're like, look, you have to be really on the ball with your like IDs at the moment because the country's just absolutely crazy. So make sure you got some ID with you and make sure it's like locked up in the dressing room. Okay. Or, like the changing. So did all that, get there. They made me wear a Colombia shirt, which I don't really want to wear, but like, it's loads of like Latin people and stuff. Play a game, really good game of football. At the end of the match, like my mate Victor, grabs me and just starts talking a load of waffle. But I didn't realise it at the time. And then someone comes in and goes, "ICE here." And I was like, "Oh, right." And they went, and they go, "Right, have you got your ID?" And I went, yeah, it's in the dressing room. They went, "They're not going to let you go to the dressing room." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he went, and I was like, "What do you mean not going to let me go to the dressing room?" Well, this is what they do. They come here and they try and catch people. We told you this. And I was like, "Oh my God." And he went like, "Look, listen, this is what's going to happen. They're going to take you and they're going to take you to the airport." And I was like, "What?" "No, they're not." And he went, "They are. Like, honestly, this is what you've got to do. They're not going to give you a phone call. They don't care about any sort of procedure. They're just going to put you on a plane." I was like, "Are you serious?" And at this point, and I'm ready to run, like, and stuff like that. And he went, "Don't worry, we'll talk. We'll find Sarah. But the thing is that like that you're going to be in Colombia this time tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And he went, "And we've got one bit of advice for you. The first thing you're going to have is," he said, "the first thing that's going to happen, right, is you're going to get taken to this really nasty prison for processing. That's where you're going to have to make your phone call." And I'm like, "Okay." Anyway, up until then, though, you're going to have to join a gang.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Oh, fuck off." And at this point, I knew it was a wind-up. But I was genuinely... I genuinely was shitting myself up until they did that. And then we went out for dinner with their girlfriends and things. They just laughed at me for like 25 minutes. I told the waiter about it. So, yeah, that was the highlight of my time in New York, was thinking I was about to have a fight with some ICE people.
Well, I'm hoping that you took it all in good fun.
I did take it in good fun. It's a good wind-up, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. I'm surprised they got you, but it must have been convincing. They must have done it in a really good way.
I was in a Colombia shirt.
Okay.
Surrounded by loads of Latins. And I had no ID. And, like, I was ready for it, actually. Yeah. Like, I was like, yeah, cool. Wake up in Colombia. Like, I am going to get the badge numbers of all of these bastards and start an intergenerational conflict. I will donate money in my will to continue the fight against their grandchildren. That's how angry I was. But, yeah, that was my time in New York. What have you been up to?
So the reason I'm quite tired tonight is I had to do a self-tape last night, and it came quite last minute.
Is that for a commercial or for?
It's for a short film, so I'm kind of hoping I get this one.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like you've got any other short films to be thinking about at the moment.
Yeah. It's difficult, man. It's so difficult during the Christmas period. You got to keep busy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've actually cracked an idea. I've worked out how I want to do it now. So, like, I'd love to say I'd be able to like write it within a week or 2 weeks, but Christmas, man, is just so all over the place that like I'm not making any promises until second week of January or something. You know, let's just get through Christmas and through New Year's, watch Stranger Things, and then regroup from there.
I came up across something quite bonkers. So before we get to Parasite, which is the film we're going to be discussing tonight, I came across this YouTube channel, and they were basically talking about how AI is starting to kind of dull people's creativity and how AI will never be able to write a perfect screenplay. And I thought, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but that's not what AI is for, is it? Like, AI... I mean, I think that obviously it's going to get better. The thing that scares me about AI is it's never going to be worse than it is today.
Exactly.
You know, it's going to be better tomorrow. It's going to be better the next day. And I see stuff now, and I'm like, that's got to be AI, but I'm not sure. Like, and I find that a bit scary because that means like you're having to constantly question the reality of what you see. And the easy answer is just get off the fucking internet, to be honest, and go and do other things. But in terms of sort of screenplays and films and stuff like that, all it is a tool, right? And tools are good.
Yeah, it does help you a lot with certain things. It can help you with storyboarding and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And the thing is, though, is what it isn't is a replacement for writing a story.
Nice.
Or... I mean, you maybe should worry about if it's going to be a replacement for actors, because I can actually see that happening. Just because it would be cheaper. They would always be on time, like stuff like that. But I still don't think that's the case because, you know, humans, like about 65% of our brain is dedicated to recognizing human faces, shapes, emotions, and things. And I just don't think that it can be tricked like by an actor, as it were.
I saw something freaky nights ago though. There was like a clip with the actresses from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown and Sadie Sink. They were talking to fans via this FaceTime kind of app. And honestly, I guarantee you would never have thought it was AI. It looked genuinely like it was them doing it. So it is scary.
Yeah, but that's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something. Can you like? I just think that even if they could do, say, 3 seasons of Stranger Things with AI generated like actors and actresses, I still don't think that it's going to land in our lifetime. Just based off the complexity of how incredible humans are at analysing nuance and subtext and things. I mean, you think of like. One of the things about autism is the inability to read facial cues.
Yeah.
Like, and you can see like what an effect that can have on people. And so I'm not convinced that it's going to replace like human creativity, but it is certainly going to be a tool. And what I'd like to see it used as efficiency or time saving. So I don't have to wait 2.5 years to watch the Lord of the Rings TV show every season, which, to be honest, is pretty shit anyway. That's my thoughts on AI.
Okay, shall we get on with Parasite then? Which for me,
yeah, no one's watching, so yes.
So yeah,
Parasite.
Yeah, Parasite. Was made in 2019, South Korean thriller film, directed by Bong Joon Ho. Fantastic. It's definitely one of the best films I've ever seen. I can guarantee.
Really?
I don't know what you thought of it. For me, I was thoroughly entertained from start to finish, but towards the end, obviously, it shocks you. But yeah, it was great.
I wasn't that taken by it, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed.
Whoa!
But the hype was unbelievable. I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that it is a bad film at all. I can understand why people would like this film, but it didn't get its hooks into me. And I think that watching the film, it is superbly directed. There's no way of getting around it. The visual storytelling, the contrasts, and things like that. They're not like subtle. Well, they're not like ostentatious. They're very clear, and it's beautifully filmed and stuff. But I didn't. It just didn't land with me. Like I think maybe I didn't understand it. I think I understood most of the stuff in it and most of what they were going for, but I felt that rather than it like being something I thought about and then understood, it was just basically I was beaten over the head with it.
I'm disappointed. I thought you'd be raving about it tonight.
No, I mean, look, I thought it was I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty average. And the thing is that like I've seen what's it called, Snowpiercer.
I haven't seen that.
Right, it's another film he did that I think had very similar ideas and was done a lot better.
Okay.
It's about a train, and basically they put poor people in the compartments to work the train, and everyone is rich, and it's the only way to keep surviving in a post-apocalyptic world. And I thought that tried similar things that was better. And this is, I think. Do you know what I think it is, Tyrone? I'll tell you where my problem started with this.
Okay.
Is that have I spoken to you about Commedia dell'arte before?
We speak about comedy all the time, but I'm not sure what a Commedia dell'arte is.
It's like an Italian form of theatre from like the very early Middle Ages.
Okay.
It's where things like the Harlequin comes from.
Okay.
And like puppet shows, like Punch and Judy, stuff like that is Commedia dell'arte. And it's like one of the earliest form of tropes. And probably the one that we would recognise the most is like Blackadder, which comes from a clever slave and a stupid master.
Okay, yeah.
And when I was watching this, I felt that it was obviously doing that trope of like the cunning, the cunning slaves, as it were, like the cunning sort of underclass and the stupid, or the naive and trusting upper class. And I just felt that this is something that I've seen so often, and I was hoping for something like more incisive or like more up to date. And the only thing I could say that was like a little bit more was where they find the other, like the housekeeper.
Yeah. That was a nice twist, actually. Great twist.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit like, okay, this is where we're going. But the housekeeper and her husband, first of all, start trying to lord power over the others. And I think that what it was basically saying, I mean, you were hit over the head with it, was that the lower classes can't work together. Like they're still in those moments, they're basically trying to please their masters. And that was the only thing in the film that I thought was kind of fresh. The rest of it, I've just seen it done so many times, and it didn't say anything. It didn't say anything new to me. And so it's good. It's well made. I think it's well acted. Unfortunately, I don't speak Korean, and I'm assuming that the girl changes her voice quite a lot in the film.
She's fantastic. She does different voices. Like, to do that, obviously you don't notice it much. Yeah, you notice it. I noticed it slightly because she was obviously getting on the phone and playing different characters. But I thought it was brilliant. I mean, you know, I'm not.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have no problem. No problem
yeah.
if you think it's brilliant. I am like, I never like whenever someone says this is good or bad or whatever. I don't mind. Like, if you know, it's nothing personal. It's just for me. I was expecting like more kind of moral choices to be being made. When I went into the film, like, and after about sort of 10 or 15 minutes, I thought, right, it's going to go this way. It didn't go that way. Fine. But I thought that at some point that they're going to have to sort of choose between lies and honesty and things like that. And there's going to be like discussions about it and stuff. But that's not really what the film is about. It's like a series of events that happens. And then this ridiculous thing in it about how I'm going to stab him because he says that I smell poor. I mean, do me a favour.
No, but it wasn't just that. I don't think it was just that one thing that he said. I think it's a film where the rich are constantly looking down upon the poor, you know, and
They're not, though. That's actually the point, is that they're not constantly doing it. They're doing it in private.
But for him to
and there's
see
a difference.
He lost a lot of respect for him when the guys that about how they stink and, you know, that subway smell and stuff. He kind of forgets who he was.
Like,
you know?
Well, no, it's like, because this film's got a lot of contrasts in it, right? You've got nature, like with their garden, versus them like sort of like living underground in a bunker, as it were. There's beautiful use of lights and rain and things in this film, and there's a bit where they're kind of like LARPing as being rich, and then that ends up with them hiding under the table, going back underground, as it were, hearing what they really what their masters really think of them, and that's what hurts him. It's more like but it's also, I understand it's a very sort of like, it's an easy thing to sort of go, ugh, someone smells and stuff like that. But I just think that it could have been done. I don't know. It just didn't really like land for me, because the dad's got to get to a point where he makes a crazy decision, and he's seen his daughter stabbed. But it's thinking about the smell that makes him stab him. I mean, stuff like that doesn't land to me.
So, like, let's kind of get into like the. So, it obviously starts off where they're in their apartment, and it's just basically a family of four: the mother, the father, the daughter, and the son, all in low-income jobs. Not always.
They appear to be pizza box folders or collectors or something.
Yeah, and it's basically it's the lad's friend who comes and gives him the idea. Look, I'm going off to university. You can work with this rich family. And he says something quite key at the beginning. He says she's a bit simple, and by God, do we
about the mother.
How simple she is? She's so simple, isn't she? She's. Yeah, it's
except for the bit where she goes clockwise, which made me laugh quite a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I love that scene.
Never heard that. I've got to be honest. I think so. I really like the start, because you've got like I always talk about this, and it's kind of basic of like screenwriting, is that in the opening act you want to give an external problem for the characters, an internal problem. And you basically want to suggest that if they don't solve these problems, they're going to have a form of death, right? So maybe not like literally dying, but they're in a sort of horrible stasis, as it were. And I think that this film does it really well. You get this cool idea early on of them running around, holding their phones up, trying to steal Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay. And that instantly does something which the film continues to do, which is the top is rich and the bottom is poor. And so,
no, but should I say what else made me think as well? It was like wow, like look at all the stuff we take for granted, and two, like these people aren't used to the luxuries that other people have, if that makes sense. Did you get that?
Yeah, well, I felt it was more that they'd fallen on hard times. Like, I don't, I don't know much about Korea. I'm going to be honest. I know Jisoo Park.
Yeah, neither do I, to be honest.
Yeah, and I know Diva from Overwatch lives there. But I think that basically this sort of like, they refer to basements a lot, and I assume that it's like council houses or like how we would possibly view it over here. Basically, you're at the lowest that you can be. And it's demonstrated well because there's a guy pissing outside their room. Yeah. There's bugs in the house. They've got a really weird toilet. And yeah, like, and so I think I especially like the fumigation scene because it's called Parasite, and they're like open the windows and they're all getting gassed and stuff. And I think that's all really done. And I think that when the pizza person comes, it shows that they're quite sly. That we're not. Maybe sly isn't the right word.
Manipulative.
Like, no, it's not that. It's sort of like it's ambitious and cunning. Like they're willing to fuck people over, bend the rules, take advantage. It's Machiavellian, I think, is the word I'm looking for. And so the opening act is really, really good. It's really well done. I don't think you get a good idea of the characters straight away. Like, hello, Richard. Merry Christmas.
Big up, Rich.
I've never seen. Yeah, big up, Rich. I think that the introduction. So we get the introduction of his mate. Is like it reminds me of you know how I talk about the half man in horror films.
Yeah.
You can see that he's like he's much more well off than his mate. He's got a better haircut. He's got a good suit. He brings him this rock, like a scholar's rock, they call it. And I laughed a lot when he said, "This is so metaphorical."
You know what made me laugh? What made me laugh was when the mum turned around and said, "Oh, I would have preferred you if you brought some food."
Yeah, brought some food.
Yeah,
but so that was interesting because he said like, "Oh, I'm going to ask the girl out when she goes to uni," and it's a bit of, like, I'll come back to this because. I had an interesting theory when I was watching the film, or a theory that interested me, and I wanted to see if you had it as well, and that was like a deliberate intention of the creative team. But that guy kind of like offers him a way out, as it were, and it's kind of like you love a bit of like Faustian pacts. He is a bit of a Mephistopheles figure here. Offering an opportunity and things like that. But at the same time, the thing that was really cool was the subtext to it, where it's like, I need you to look after this girl because you're not very attractive, bruv.
Yeah.
And I thought that was interesting. And then
he underestimates him, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, the girl's certainly got a type, hasn't she? And I'm not sure he underestimates him. I think it's, I don't know.
I think he does. I think he sees him as no threat.
Yeah, no, that's true. But it's why he sees him as no threat. And I think it's because he's poor. Because there's a lot in this film about fitting in.
I don't think it's just that, though. I think this family deliberately, obviously they're on the red line. I think they deliberately show people a certain side of them that makes people underestimate them. They don't show how intelligent they really are. Like, for example, the daughter, she could do anything. Look how she does the fake documentation so easily.
Yeah. You know? Shout out to Fingerland's buses in Manchester, but I did that like 15 years ago. Used to photocopy the bus pass, change the date, and show it to them. It's not that hard. But the thing is I was wondering, like, are they like am I going to think of them as like being sort of talented but lazy? The Jadon Sanchos of soul, but it's about opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't get the. It's sort of like, I don't know. You see, I might be going off some unfair stereotypes here, but from sort of like Japan and like sort of like East Asia and stuff, I've always thought that they're quite British in some ways, in the fact that so much is on sort of like titles and documents and things like that, and you have to, you have to have a bit of paper to say that you can do something, and they're being denied like getting these bits of paper. But at the same time, do we see them being shown as having a good work ethic and stuff? I'm not sure. I think they're meant to be quite a grey family, like neither good nor bad, just normal.
The way I looked at the father, I looked at him probably the way you looked at Matthew McConaughey's character in.
He's dreadful, isn't he?
Interstellar. He takes zero responsibility, letting his kids do all these things for him. And yeah, he's not a character you kind of look at and think, wow. Yeah.
I mean, he's contrasted with the rich father, though, isn't he? Who doesn't really appear to be there for his family. He provides for them, but not emotionally.
Yeah.
And that's why the woman kind of develops these weird relationships with her staff.
Well, she just wants someone to talk to, but she's so easy. She's easily manipulated because, yeah, she's lonely. People find, I don't know, it's crazy how they just work their way around her. It's nuts. I found it funny. I did find it funny to watch.
I mean, like the Ocean's 11 scheme that they have to get everyone hired. I was very disappointed that we didn't see how the girl got the little boy to behave.
That's true,
like, fine, like either it wasn't interesting or they couldn't come up with a reason or whatever. But fine, she does that, and for personal reasons, the stuff about the schizophrenic part of a painting made me laugh for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Do you know this bit here is the frenia zone or something?
Yeah.
Just frenia. Like, yeah. I remember I laughed at that. I thought she played it very well, and she was the most interesting character. And also she's one of the only ones that dies, which I think that's quite. I think that's quite important. I've got a theory why.
I thought she was the best character in it, to be honest.
Yeah, she doesn't really do a lot though, does she? Like, it's just like the actress does well, I think. Like, as I say, I assume she's doing a posh accent sometimes and is using her normal voice. But that bit's quite good. But the bit that really annoyed me, well, not really annoyed me, but was when she took her panties off in the car.
Yeah.
And then this is the first time that we meet, like, Rich Dad.
Yeah.
He instantly clocks on how weird it is to leave her panties there. And then he whispered something to the wife. And I thought, ooh, the girl has kissed her tutor again, presumably. He's clocked that something's not right here. I thought we were going for the fact that the parasites were going to get completely done. Did you get that at all?
When he says that, I'm thinking to myself, what's he saying? No, when he said that, I thought to myself, are they playing some kind of a trick? Because I thought he might be more savvy. But then when she starts screaming like drugs, cocaine, etc., I was a bit disappointed. A little bit, not much, but a little bit.
Because I've got to be honest, I prefer evil rich to stupid rich as a concept.
Okay.
And I mean, I might be being quite biased here because when I was like playing out in Latin America, this is basically how we were perceived, like as like Westerners, gringos, as having loads of money and being fucking idiots. and I found it tremendously patronising and annoying the whole time. And they were doing the same thing, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you can talk me into liking this film more, because it's definitely about contrasts, and maybe there are contrasts that I missed. All right, so where are we? Like, yeah, so they all get hired, and the peach stuff was fun.
They basically, obviously, they hire Kevin, who's the English teacher. Then he recommends his sister to get hired because the son saw a ghost in the kitchen time ago and is still traumatized by it. So that's like his bring his sister in as like an art therapist.
Yeah. And I mean, it's full on nepotism at this point, isn't it?
And then she I kind of felt, you feel kind of bad for the driver because he's a nice guy, you know what I mean? He leaves her underwear in the vehicle.
I mean, it is kind of suggested that he might not be a nice guy because he's trying to find out where she lives. And I don't know about Korea and things like that, but I believe that they do have issues with like sexual violence and harassment and things like that are different to the ones that we face in the UK. But I got the impression that he was that to a native audience, they would have found him a little bit creepy.
I don't know.
Which is contrasted with her because she's worse.
I didn't get that vibe from him.
Did you not? Okay, maybe that's just me, but it was the way she responded. I remember thinking, if this was an English film, you'd think she was just being a bit of a bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a boyfriend, thank you very much, and you would just think, like, look, love, I'm just trying to do my job. Do you know what I mean? But I think that was intended for there to be a bit of sort of like moral greyness there, because you know at this point they're the protagonists, but they're not the heroes. Do you know what I mean? And I think you've got to handle that carefully, that line.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter what Eda had done in the car. She was always going to set him up for the trap. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, she was always going to set him up.
Be honest. It does feel like it's improvised.
I think where it goes wrong for them is when. So obviously they get the dad in, and he starts to kind of like enjoy the job, drives the nice car and stuff.
Bit of sexual tension.
Yeah, I definitely think it goes wrong when they get the mum in and they get rid of that housekeeper, because karma comes back to bite them really hard. And it's funny how it's done, though. I must say, when they kind of make.
Yeah, it's good. It's well done, because I like the forbidden fruit with the underage schoolgirl, which I don't know about you, but I did kind of. I didn't really like that kind of stuff.
It's weird, yeah. I didn't like it.
Yeah, and the thing is she seems to be like addicted to it. Like, this is definitely the second time that she's done it to, you know, like a poor girl. It's like Lady Chatterley's Lover or whatever it's called. But you know, she goes sort of forbidden fruit and stuff like that, and you know, the peaches and things. I think it's done well. But I mean, the tuberculosis and putting like hot sauce on a napkin. I've got a feeling that this is probably some sort of cultural reference that we don't get.
You can't tell me that shot though when he lifts it up. I laughed my ass off when I saw that shot. That was so funny, the way he lifts it up. Well, it's the way he sets it up, because he's like, you know, she's in the hospital. I took this picture. Did this. So manipulative. But the funny bit is when the daughter and the son are teaching him how to do it with the scripts. Brilliant.
Yeah, well,
that's fantastic.
Yeah. I do like that. Like, it's, you know, like a kind of it's like the Wolf of Wall Street or something, isn't it? Where you have all these responses to it, and they're like coaching him how to do it. Yeah. which once again made me think, like, I think, they're just lazy. Like, they're obviously, like, they're obviously very intelligent and things like that. And we don't really see them being denied opportunities. So yeah, but I mean that stuff is it is good, but it is all a little cartoonish for me.
Shall I tell you one thing that I didn't get, and we'll get to it later on as well? But like, obviously, I understood that they needed to have the flooding scene because that was quite an important part of the film. But they're all earning this money. The dad says earlier on in the film, we're gonna all put our money together, we can get a nice place. But they never get a nicer place. I don't get that.
Well, I mean, there's not a great time scale in the film. It might, I think a lot of it is that they don't know how to manage
money.
Yeah, they don't know how to manage success. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a scene where they've all gone off camping or whatever it is for baby Korea's birthday, and they're getting fucked in the house, like enjoying everything, and it's messy and it looks like their front room, and I think it was meant to sort of imply that they haven't really changed.
Yeah.
And the thing about a parasite, when I was watching the film, is parasites are meant to live in symbiosis with their host. That's what a successful parasite does. It doesn't kill the host, does it?
No.
And so the best parasites are the housekeeper and her husband.
They're better than any.
And they're the worst parasites.
Yeah, because imagine that the family didn't even know they were there. That bit gets crazy. When obviously they go down, I'm thinking, what the hell is this? That was shocking because I never saw.
Yeah, like that. The film, like it really changes at that point to something else, and I was a little bit disappointed. Not because when it happened, you're like, what is this and things, but I was hoping for more a kind of psychological thing rather than moving to. Essentially, it's a bit of a horror film after that, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a mixture of everything, this film. I think for me, that's why I like the film so much, because it gave me a lot of things. It gave you so many different emotions while you're watching it.
I mean, it's just, I think, like, yeah, I mean, it's the thing that was really weird to me. I think it's not explained, but it's suggested highly. Is that when the housekeeper comes back and she's badly beaten, I was like, ooh, we might be going somewhere now. And I was not expecting to go downstairs into a secret Korean bunker. But I'm trying to think if there's anything important leading up to that, to the kind of, wouldn't call it a twist, but like maybe the turning of the plot. If, like, when you pause at that scene of them sort of getting drunk in the house and things like that, and things, I think they begin to hit on stuff that I found much more interesting, which was the boy saying, like, if I maybe I should marry this girl. And he says exactly the same thing that, like, Mephistopheles said.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, ooh, okay, maybe something's going on here. But it was all about kind of like fitting in and having to live a lie.
Yeah.
And I really like that because they make a big point about how the girl fits in, but no one else does, and she's the only one that dies.
Sad, isn't it? She could have. You know what I think? I think the reason she dies, and I think the reason it's so tragic, is she's been born in those circumstances. But out of all the characters, she could have been anything she wanted to be, despite where she was. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, I think she's meant to be like proper fit in the fit, like, in the world or whatever. and she's obviously very clever and sort of independent, like driven, all the good stuff. But I think what they're actually doing by killing her is sort of saying that you can't actually sort of move up. You're stuck. You know, you're stuck where you are, because the dad becomes the housekeeper's dad.
Yeah.
Like, and like Sui, whatever he's called, like John Correa, like, you know, the main sort of the main guy.
Yeah.
He has this really kind of like annoying fake ending fantasy of him buying the house.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But he's actually still stuck in between. He's in between, like, the surface where the rich are and the bottom where his dad is. He's still in that kind of halfway house, and nothing's really changed for him except he's lost his sister and his father.
But I found that a bit weird towards the end. I'll be honest with you, because when the crazy guy attacks him in the basement and he's trying to get away, we get a shot of him on the ground with blood everywhere. He looked dead to me. I don't know about you, but I thought he was good.
Yeah, that's suggested. And then I found the piggyback really funny. I don't like his little girlfriend is giving him a piggyback out. But
yeah,
I have to say that when he was hit on the head, I remember thinking, I'll mention this to Tyrone. I thought that it was one of the best bits of dead body acting that I've seen.
It was shocking, wasn't
it? His hand twitching.
Yeah, it was shocking,
like,
man.
Not reacting to it's played as him being dead, and I just like, what is the point of making the audience think he's dead and then he's actually alive?
Oh, no, I didn't know.
That's
my only criticism. I think that's my only criticism from the film.
Did you feel that like they might have changed the ending?
Maybe. I think maybe at the end, maybe the daughter was meant to have survived and not the son.
No, I think the daughter was always meant to die. But I think that like the daughter was always meant to die. The dad was always meant to live downstairs, unless. No, I think that originally that guy was going to die, and they just changed it. But it all felt set up for him to die like that. And then he comes back to life with what I found to be a fairly dissatisfying ending. Like, not in terms of what happened to him, but just it's just not. It's not a good ending.
Well, there's no resolutions, are there? Because you don't know what's happened with the wife who's lost a rich husband and has to deal with a daughter and a son. You don't find out what's happened to her. And the film.
Well, she moves. Some Germans move in. The stuff about like the Morse code was just it was really weird how that was shot, where the son suddenly picks up the Morse code, and I wondered if it was real or not.
Yeah,
but it's very obvious. You know, it's from the news report, which is real. It's very, you know, it's all so obvious that the dad is downstairs. But is the Morse code bit real?
I think it is, because I think before, when the man's down there using the Morse code, before all the devastation happens, he's basically asking for help because his wife's dying down there. And I think that's why he goes crazy on the day of the party, because he's lost his wife.
He does, yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because she gets him to repeat the wife's name twice.
But yeah,
you know, like that, like. Yeah. But right, back to where we were, which is just before everything sort of goes to shit and stuff. They get one lovely day in the house.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I just. Because I thought they were going to steal the house when they... Do you remember when they did that thing, like, called The Club or whatever? And they had this really...
Yeah.
Now, this really interesting concept that I've never heard of veteran grade staff. I've never heard that before.
And yeah, they're basically asking for all their ID.
Yes.
The deed to the property, and you're thinking, wow, where's this going? You know?
Yeah, because she's good at forging and things like that. And at this point, I thought that they were going to like take a mortgage out on another property or something using the other person's house as collateral or whatever.
Because I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how the housing rules work over there in Korea. I know we have. A long time ago, we had squatters' rights, didn't we? And I know in America they have that sort of thing. If a squatter gets into your property, you can't get them out. So,
yeah. But I didn't think they were going to steal the house. I thought it was going to be something a bit more clever than that. But they don't really go anywhere with that.
No.
But yeah, okay. So then we get the reveal of the housekeeper. I really enjoyed that they beat her up using peaches. I thought that was good.
It was a funny scene, yeah.
But I think the point of that scene is that like the poor are fighting each other for the affection of the rich.
Yeah, because I mean, when the mother first finds out about the hidden bunker, if she'd kind of played ball and said, "Look, we could work together," and stuff, and the family hadn't fallen down the stairs, it could have worked out better. But they're all, like you said, it's like crabs in a bucket, innit? All fighting each other. Not wanting to.
Yeah, and she would have also got like a steady passive income from them. And
exactly.
Passive income is incredibly important. And I wondered when I watched that, like making your money work for you is almost a tenet of like being rich, isn't it?
And she would never have betrayed them because she knows that they knew her secret. But obviously, once she realised, she clocked it a bit too quickly. But yeah, she clocked that they were all family. And she was like, "Oh my god!" and started using the video.
And she didn't even sort of like work out that they had betrayed her. I don't know if it was implied or whatever, but she didn't sort of work that out. She said something about it was weird that the driver went or whatever, but and there was all this kind of big sis stuff, which I quite liked.
I think she does realise. I think that's why she starts taking the video. I think it all dawns on her all at once. Oh my god, you guys have done all this,
Yeah. And but they don't negotiate. They don't come to an arrangement. They don't sort stuff out. They don't think about how they can work together to all kind of like, I don't know, siphon the money out of this house and things. And I thought that was quite a big point that the director or the writer was trying to make there, is that we all fight each other on the way up rather than, what is it? A rising tide lifts all ships. And so I thought that was good and also quite true to life. People will fuck each other over. It's like, is it the scorpion and the frog, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I like that. And then I think after this, it just gets a bit too silly for me.
Yeah, because then the Park family basically they end up leaving the camp because it was too much rain, and they say they're coming back. And then I can't remember the dish. It's like a noodle dish. She says, "I want you to make some."
It's like ramen with sirloin steak or something.
Oh, okay.
It's a contrast between rich and poor.
It looks nice though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and
like the food in that, and the food there looked well nice. All of it.
And
I like a bit of East Asian.
And then all we see is basically them just hiding from the family, which is nuts. And then obviously you've got the crazy scene where the son wants to stay outside, and I'm thinking, wow, you've got this rich man, but he hasn't got the power to make his son go to bed.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
I thought it was about kind of like, I thought it was once again the contrast between their worlds, as it were, whereas rain for the rich meant a bit of an adventure or a bit of an inconvenience. To them, it was like their shitter exploding and their house flooding.
Yeah.
And
crazy,
things like that. And so the kid outside is like make believe this is an adventure, stuff like this. But to them, it's like it's like, or it's a sort of form of like a terror And it was cool because you have that like metaphorically, but you also have it literally, where once again they're almost underground, having to hide under the table, having to hide under the bed. Like when the rich are around, they have to go underground. And I thought that's a cohesive and coherent and consistent thing in the film, is
like
up
rats.
and down.
Like hiding like rats,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then, they obviously have sex on the... Well, I don't know if they do have sex, but they fool about on the sofa.
That is hilarious, that is. The bit where...
Clockwise.
You know what? Well, no, not just that. It's the bit where he saes, I'm going to get you to wear the panties that were in Yoon's vehicle. And that's
cheap hard. Ones.
I had a good laugh at that.
I did, but I mean, it's kind of like... I think it was interesting. It's obviously a private moment, as it were, and they think it's private and stuff like that. And it's the first time we see this kind of any form of chemistry between them. Like Kim has, like the dad, I think he's called Kim, has hinted quite a lot that he doesn't think that dad Korea loves mum Korea. Like it's all, and I thought that was quite interesting because it's like the one thing that he felt he might have over him is that, like, it's because like sex in some ways is the great equalizer between rich and poor. It doesn't really matter in a nightclub, does it? Or it shouldn't.
It's crazy when you've got a wife saying, please buy me drugs, please buy me drugs. I'm like, bloody hell, you're out of your mind. You're nuts. Completely nuts.
People say stuff, don't they?
Yeah, nuts.
But yeah, and then there's the bit about how they smell and things, which, to be honest, I thought was quite true to life. I can imagine people talking like that when there's no one around.
And I looked at his face, like obviously the daughter and the dad underneath the table, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, bloody hell, you're finding out what these people actually think about you, mate,
Yeah, but I mean, does that really surprise you? Like,
it didn't surprise. It did make me laugh.
Yeah.
It made me laugh because then I sort of thought to myself, you know what? You're so nice to this guy's face when he's driving you around. You're so two-faced.
Yeah. Look, well, I think you've got to be a bloody child to think people don't think of you that way.
Of course,
like, yeah, exactly. It shouldn't really be a surprise. Like anyone you work with, any sort of peer or colleague, if you hear them like, off the record, as it were, talking about, you should never be surprised if like they give you a different impression, because that's how you work.
No, but how I've always been though, Bath Time, like going through life, I won't say anything to somebody behind their back that I wouldn't have the balls to say to their face. Do you know what I mean? So I find that.
Yeah, people say that, but then they don't. But then they don't do it. It's like, it started on Big Brother, where someone will go, just say what I think to your face, mate. Like, if you think I've got crap hair and I'm not funny, I don't want to hear it. Like, and people don't run around doing stuff like that. But you look for the middle ground. You will have said to 1,000 times how stupid your boss is, or what a dickhead he is, or how's he got this job and stuff like this, and you'll have never have said it to him. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm not talking about that surface level stuff with bosses, and I'm talking.
Well, that's exactly what it is. They're employees. He's the boss. Like, it's what you have there is an unguarded moment of like reality and truth and stuff. Yeah. And there's all these other things like going on about they like their masters, as it were. Like you see later on, housekeep, like you see Bunker Boy later on, like he always does this weird kind of like nod of respect to the head of the house by saying hello to him in Morse code and stuff like that. And the thing is that they have a parasitic relationship with the family, and the family have a parasitic one with them, where they fulfill certain needs and they do things like cooking and cleaning and taking it out and things. And it's at this moment like you realise that the rich family are just as much parasites as they are, and it's not it's not a good relationship between them. And I found that the dad's reaction to this just completely childish. Like it's generally, I mean, he is quite childlike in the film.
Well, I did laugh. I did laugh at that scene because I looked at his face and I thought, "Wow, you're so disappointed right now. This has hurt you. This has cut you deep."
Yeah, and I found that a bit pathetic because, like, it's you can't do this thing, right, where you have like Machiavellian people trying to manipulate others, and then when you find out what they think about you, you get upset about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for me. And the only real thing that worked there was I thought, right, we're meant to sympathise with these parasites.
I don't think I had any. I think the only sympathy I had was for the daughter at the end. I didn't really have much sympathy for the father because I thought he doesn't really take responsibility.
Useless.
And what annoyed me at the end is it's the mother who's having to defend her children. The father's just sat there, just doing nothing.
Yeah, well, I think that's really interesting because they do. There's a lot of stuff in this which is set up quite well. Like, for example, the little kid seeing the ghost. That's you understand why. Like you understand what that is later on. You understand why the housekeeper's like covered in bruises because of the loan sharks and stuff. And at the end, like you understand that they've invented this 15-minute rule to get the kid to hospital. And he takes the pressure off his daughter's wound and stuff like that. And it's he's not a father, really, is he?
He's not.
Like, and it's interesting how they kind of like that is all. I don't think that that's interpretation. I think you're meant to think that he's taking the wound off, that he's obeying commands from the rich, and things like that.
You could understand how the daughter and the son have become scammers and how they've become the way they are because the parents are just, they're encouraging it. Terrible behaviour, what they're doing. It's very deceitful. I think another scene that I found quite funny was obviously the son's going to have this party and stuff, and it's going to be like a choreograph thing where.
Oh right, yeah, the little boy.
Yeah. So then the rich dad and Kim are gonna play the bad guys for the scene, and
and then he reminds him he's an employee.
It made me laugh because he's looking at me saying, "Listen, just think of this as like part of your job. You're getting paid extra."
Yeah.
It kind of talks down to him.
Yeah, but I mean, I if that were me, I'd say, show me in my contract where it says I have to do that. If we're going to play that game, where does it say my contract? I've got to dress up as an Indian. Yeah. But what I did quite like about it is there was this thing throughout the film that I did enjoy about how she kept saying "Made in America." It's from America and things like that. And they're calling them Indians, but they're like American Indians or Native American Indians or whatever the correct terminology is. And I found I like that. I think there's good internal logical structure to the film. But and obviously the Indians were colonized as well, which is what the Parasite should have been trying to do, instead of just like ripping the money off. It would have been because it was if he had gone right and done his job properly and not started seducing a 14-year-old, using their connections and things, they could have got the girl good work. Like the dad could have been hired as a driver anyway, or a driver for someone else. They all played it wrong by sort of taking shortcuts and stuff. And then at the end, the dad fucks everything up.
He does, yeah. Well, I think that's where it went wrong for the two. I think if they'd ended it where it was just the son and the daughter playing the game and just doing what they needed to do, none of this would have happened. It's the moment they got their parents involved where it all goes to shit, I think.
Well, did you think of is it Happy Games? What's the Swedish film where the two tennis boys? Funny games. Yeah, like it's. I was expecting a bit of funny games in this.
Were you disappointed that there was no funny games?
No, not at all. Because I'm not. I thought that we were going to get a really good. Like I remember once, right, Tyrone. I went for a. I was like sort of doing internships in different places, like in my second year at uni, and one of the internships I interviewed for, they said to me, like one of the things they said to me was like, "We're a small company, and we're just like one big family," and I said, "I'm not interested."
Wow, really?
Yeah, I said, "I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you there, and I don't want to sound ungrateful. I don't want to work in an environment like that." And they were a bit taken aback, to be honest. But I don't want to work somewhere where they think that they're family and things like that. I just, like I'm not interested in that kind of stuff because you're not a family. Sorry?
Fair play to you. And I know why they say that. It's not a manipulation tactic, but it's almost like, oh, we're family. He won't mind working extra shifts. He won't mind coming on his holiday.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
I don't want that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And also the company had like 30 staff in it and stuff. And I'm from a Catholic family, but that's a big family. Yeah. But like I do like my dad like nearly killed me when I told him I said that. But but yeah, like I'm not interested in like in confused relationships as it were between like your boss and your co-workers and stuff like that. Like they're your teammates, but they're not your family. Very different concepts. And I think that is something that the rich were reminding the poor of in this film towards the end.
You're just a number.
Yeah, but they were just a number to you as well. Like, it was just it's the dad in particular. I think that the actor played him incredibly well, but I didn't like the character, and I didn't like the character narratively.
With the housemaid that lost her job and her husband who's in the bunker, I don't think they were being entirely honest about their history. I think they're from North Korea, and I think they escaped from there and went into South Korea, and that's why they're so scared of being found out. I don't think it's about debts.
Maybe that's good because she does do an impression of a North Korean newsreader, or whatever. What I did really like about her was she had a parasitic relationship with the son. Like she said, I knew that there was no one here because I've been texting him.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I like that as well, because one of the things that was quite interesting about the mum is she's obviously well into the kids and stuff, but she doesn't really know what's going on. She doesn't know the tutors that she's getting are banging her daughter. She doesn't know that the housekeeper is like having secret conversations with her son. She doesn't know there's people living underneath. She's clueless really of the world around her, but she's having the time of her life in the film, and she's more interested in like labels and things. It's interesting because she understands.
No,
so I was going to say she understands, or she's very keen on how people perceive her, but without being able to read what the actual situation is, and it's very similar to the dad. Like the Parasite dad.
I'm disappointed in the rich dick. I'll call him the dad, and not just the mother, but I'm more disappointed in the father, because you've got a daughter right in the house, and you're allowing male tutors to come in and teach your daughter English. Are you nuts? Why wouldn't you hire a female teacher? That's just me, anyway. But yeah, I think.
Yeah, I mean. I kind of agree, to be honest. But maybe that's just how it works out there, like and stuff like that. But yeah, like having, And she moves on quickly from Mephistopheles to Kevin. Yeah. Like it's just it's very uncomfortable seeing that role where her role is basically just to be like a Lolita to the main character. I'm not, she serves no other real purpose. So not sure about that. But yeah, like I think first act very good. Second act until like where everything goes wrong was very good. After everything goes wrong, I mean, honestly, mate, it's like a Scooby Doo or something, like secret underground fucking bunkers, Morse code in the lights. Like I feel it sort of goes a bit off the tracks, and then they try and bring it all back together with this scene where two people die. I think the girl dies because she is obviously the one that was most easily going to make the transition. And the one who was least likely to make the transition, the dad, is the one who ends up living in the house.
Yeah.
So some nice irony there, I suppose.
I did chuckle out loud when you see the son and the mum back where it all began at the house again. It was just crazy. You've gone through all of this and you're back to.
Do you believe that was the house? What I mean is that like the exterior to the house, I'm fairly sure is not where that house is, and was chosen because it's on a really slopey street. I never thought that was the real house. I thought that was an artistic touch because up and down are such big things in this film, and I found it a bit jarring how that clearly wasn't the entrance. That clearly wasn't an upper middle class neighborhood with loads of trees and things around it.
It's the fact that he gives the old lady a send off as well. He actually buries her in the garden. It's just nuts. The whole film.
Yeah. Oh, there was something I did want to ask you. Right, I don't know if I'm inventing stuff here, but they go after they bury the daughter or whatever. They go to what I assume is a Korean mausoleum or a Korean cemetery. Like that, and there's like these little kind of pictures and fetishes and stuff in boxes, like instead of graves. Do you know the bit I'm talking about?
I think it was ashes. I think that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think that was similar to the entrance of the bunker?
A little bit, yeah.
I did.
That's a deliberate choice.
Yeah, and it's meant to. The bunker's a mausoleum where you go to die, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tomb. Very Lovecraft or Edgar Allan Poe. But yeah, like living down in the bunker, man.
But I liked how the woman explained it, because obviously she explained how the family didn't know about it, but obviously the person before had it there because it's a place to escape if there's like a war with North Korea.
Yeah, and he was embarrassed by it.
Or if you're getting chased by predators, because obviously you can hide. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, I don't mind a secret passage in a house, and I like the fact that it's a basement and they live in a basement and stuff. So, we're done an hour and 10 minutes. Suppose we should sum up a little bit. Like, I give this film a 6 out of 10, Tyrone, I'm afraid. Above average, particularly the visual stuff. I think the contrasts, the direction, the acting are all really good. I think the film is really, really good up until the middle of the second act. And then I find where it goes not particularly interesting. And I think it doesn't have... It doesn't really sort of say enough about capitalism and wealth inequality. It just sort of says, look, this is it, rather than giving me anything else to grip onto.
I think the writer, I think he based this film on a play, and I think he'd written an actual play, like based on.
Have you been on Wikipedia again?
No, not Wikipedia, but it's me, when I watch a film, I don't just watch a film, I kind of find out about the actors, I watch interviews, listen to the writer, what his vision was. I'm giving it 9 out of 10. I can see why it's got
Fair enough.
awards. I love the cinematography. To be honest,
It's amazing.
I do like films, that depict East Asia, and I think South Korea does it very well, probably better than anyone else, alongside the Chinese. So yeah, I loved it.
A huge lack of exterior shots is something I thought was interesting. Like you don't really get, like, I thought that you would get contrasts between where they live more.
I think the reason you don't get that is because he wants you to focus on the characterization.
Yeah.
He wants you to focus on the people more, which I get.
Yeah, I get it as well. I thought it was an interesting choice that, like, a lot of it was the garden outside. From the inside, you'd look out to that, like when he's reading the book or when the guy's in the wigwam or whatever it's called, and then that was contrasted with the guy pissing on the street, and you only sort of see half of what's going on. So it was there. It's just I quite like foreign cities. My fascination with cities, and I was hoping for like a couple of drone shots of wherever they were. Presume it was Seoul.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could have definitely had it. You could have had.
Yeah. It was just interesting they left it out to me. But yeah, I think. Is that you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No problems. All right, next week's film. Do you know what it is?
Nah, it's yours this time. I'm looking forward to it.
No. I'm giving you a difficult one. It is The Seven Samurai.
Okay, cool.
Right. It is about 3.5 hours long, is the first thing.
Okay.
The thing is, it's Christmas, and I don't know when our next show is going to be. So it could be 2 weeks off or whatever. But we'll find it out. But The Seven Samurai is a film everyone should watch. The first hour is going to be it's going to be pretty hard going.
Okay.
Because it's from the 50s, it's black and white, it's in Japanese, and it's very slow. But I'm going to tell you now, it is still the greatest action film that's ever been made.
The greatest?
It is the greatest.
Okay.
It is, it is an incredible film, and you won't be disappointed by it. Like, it might be challenging because it's so old. And it's different, but there is a reason why, like, this film is constantly cited. Like, I saw did you see that Netflix thing last year where someone tried to do Star Wars?
No, I didn't see it.
Well, it's all right. The plot of The Seven Samurai is very, very simple. It is a village is getting terrorized by bandits, and if the bandits want to take their rice, and if they take their rice, the village won't make it through winter, and everyone will die.
Wow!
So they go off to try and find people to protect them, and they can only pay them with very, very, very poor food rations, and so they get a ragtag group of samurai, all with different personalities and things.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so it is things like Ocean's 11 are from The Seven Samurai. Any film you see where you go and recruit a team is probably from The Seven Samurai.
I'm looking forward to this one.
It's honestly, like, I think, I'm not sure if, no one is watching, but I'm not sure if I think Agile Beast would like it. I'm not sure Bilal would like it, but I think you'll love it. As it's got, there's an actor in it called Tishuna Mafifo or something.
Okay.
He's, you'll know who he is. He'll be your favourite character. He is unbelievable in this film.
Is he quite charismatic and presence and stuff? Okay.
Yeah. He later played Macbeth in something called Throne of Blood by the same director. And if you like this film, we might watch more from him.
Okay.
Like, it's Akira Kurosawa, if you've heard that name.
I'll look into it. I'm looking forward to it though.
Oh, it's amazing! It's amazing, amazing time. We're doing a lot of Asian films at the moment, aren't we? Moon
We
Man,
do.
Parasite, Seven Samurai.
Enter the
Might
Dragon if
might
you can
chuck
include that.
Train to this. Sorry,
Enter the Dragon. If you
Enter
can
the
include that.
Dragon. Yeah, we've got the Raid at some point, haven't we?
Oh
Which
my god, you're gonna love the Raid.
yeah,
Oh my god.
I think I like the Raid more than I like Enter the Dragon. I've heard that the Raid has got like there's an action scene in the Raid that is meant to be even if you like even if you hate everything else in the film, the action scene is incredible.
It's better than Enter the Dragon. And you're probably shocked to hear me say that, but it is better just for the action. So
Yeah, but Enter the Dragon is a bit like Seven Samurai, where you have to judge it on the effect it's had. Like, and I mean, Mortal Kombat is Enter the Dragon.
I wouldn't. No, that's blasphemy. Sorry.
No, but Mortal Kombat is basically Enter the Dragon.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know, like the same kind of tournament setting, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a tournament set like on an island with a blow. Like they're all clearly based off. Johnny Cage is clearly whoever that guy was in Enter the Dragon and stuff, and that like Mortal Kombat is a massive thing even today and stuff like, and that's a computer game. You've got all sorts of things. Like, I'm surprised they haven't made Enter the Dragon in space, to be honest.
You know what's really disappointed me? They've never made a decent Tekken film. The Tekken film was absolute whack, terrible.
Well, I saw I saw like a trailer for the new Street Fighter film, and it looked dreadful.
It looks terrible. I don't like it. I don't even like who they've casted for it. I won't watch it.
50 Cent as M. Bison, man.
I won't watch it. I'll be honest with you. I won't watch it. It's a joke.
I might watch it. I mean, I love the original Mortal Kombat because I watched it when I was like 11 or something like that. And I watched the new Mortal Kombat and it was really shit up until the bit where they played the Mortal Kombat theme. And that was amazing. That was the only good bit in the film, but it was quality. All right. Anyway, let's finish here. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Just want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to say a message I'm going to say something about the people that passed away in Australia, and my thoughts are with all their loved ones and their family and friends. So.
Yeah, every week there's something that we have to send our thoughts and prayers to, but it's Christmas, it's Hanukkah. There's probably some other stuff that I don't know going on, so just enjoy it with your family and be thankful for what you have.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Night.